This is the happiest mouse I've ever seen, patting the blanket before going to bed, to receive a deep kiss from Mom waking up the next day, and climbing onto my own sink brushing teeth with my brother then, when he finished washing up and was ready to go downstairs. But he was covered by the dirty cloth that his brother had changed. He threw it into the first floor. Mom didn't even look at it, and threw it into the washing machine. The little mouse cried out loudly. He pounded on the glass of the washing machine, but the sound was too low. The mother could not hear it. The poor little mouse's name was Jag. He grew up in an orphanage because he was a mouse. No one had adopted him until this day. The couple wanted to adopt a brother for their son. The small and delicate Jia caught the couple's attention, and so Jia was brought home by them. But as soon as they entered the house, the family's big white C.T. rushed out. Bite Jia. I hope the couple stopped it in time this time. Let Jia escape from a disaster. But cats and mice are natural enemies. The big white cat didn't like Jai very much. Boogie goes after him every night before he goes to bed. Even Jai was trapped in the washing machine. He also did not saw the dead to save. Luckily, Mom found him in time. Yago was spared. Besides, Tai Pak Y was not too happy with his brother. Either played baseball with him, but Jai's size can't even lift a baseball. Looking at his brother's disgusted eyes, Jia was very sad. He didn't know what he had done wrong to win his brother's heart. Jia betrayed his sexuality and told jokes at the dinner table, but Wei was indifferent. That day the couple invited their relatives to their home to formally introduce Jai's identity. Looking at this cute little mouse, the relatives were all moved by the cute little mouse. They all took out their gifts. Everyone's attention was drawn to Jia. Seeing this scene, Wei, who was already angry, got even angrier. He lashed out at Jia. He's not my brother. He's a rat. The party was completely ruined by the end of the night. Jia, who had trouble sleeping, ran to his parents' bed. He asked what he had done wrong, but his parents didn't know how to answer. In order to make everyone like him, Jai took the initiative to show his affection to the great white spit at the door to add cat food to the big white hope to live in peace. But the feral cats in the forest garden came to the door at this time. If the feral cat finds out that Jia is the owner of the house, and the big white is a pet, then he would be a complete laughingstock in the cat world. In order to save his face, Dubai kept urging the wildcat to leave. Never thought Jai was still found out. When wildcat learned the cause and effect, he almost died laughing. White became furious and started to chase Jia to save his life. Jia panicked and hid in his brother White's room. Have you been here? Jia accidentally fell into the sandbox. Looked at the size of the dummy in front of him. Similar. He had fun directly lying on the track. Help. Come help me. W. At 4. Bye. Several exaggerated and comical performance successfully amused Wei. The relationship between them started to get closer. Wei not only generously took out the convertible car, he also invited his brother. He invited his brother to join him tomorrow for the required race. The parents looked at the harmony between the two brothers. They were also happy from the bottom of their hearts, but they could never have imagined accidents are coming soon. You have never seen such a pet cat. They wanted to kill the little master of the house with the wildcats. Fortunately, Jia was not at home at his time. He followed his brother to the rowing competition site. At Weiss' command, Jack jumped into the cabin for a final check. Just at that moment, a big boat sailed by. Wei turned around and saw that it was Xiao Shuai Zia Shu. He taunted Wei that his small boat was too low class. There was no need to race. Wei was very sad. Even though his father comforted him patiently, could not cheer him up. Meanwhile, Jack came staggering with the remote control, but accidentally threw it away. The remote control was scrapped on the spot. Xiao Shuai almost laughed himself to death when he saw this scene. Now Wei lost his confidence completely. His parents didn't know what to do. They were ready to give up the game, but the judge's voice suddenly came. Why is there a mouse on the boat? It turned out to be Jia. In order to let his brother win the race, he jumped on the boat and prepared to drive manually. Seeing that Ji was driving faster and faster to win, but the boat suddenly attacked. Control the boat towards Jia pressed over. Luckily, Jia reacted quickly, climbing on the ghost pole to bite off the rope. This is to avoid a disaster. In the end, Jia had a small advantage, successfully won the race. After returning home, the Blue brothers were proudly holding the trophy. The parents suggested to take a family photo. Jia stood on his brother's hand for the first time. He felt like home, but God has a way of making things happen. At that moment, Merlin suddenly remembered his father. Opened the door. Two brightly dressed rats appeared. They claimed to be Jai's parents. When Jia was young, his family was poor. They couldn't afford to raise him. That's why they sent him to the orphanage. But now everything is better, so they wanted to take Jia away. Faced with the sudden separation, it was hard for the parents to leave each other be. Blood is thicker than water. They really had no reason to refuse. They could only buy a few more nice clothes as a parting gift. From the time they parted, they brought Jack to the door. The mother kissed her one last time. We love you. I love you too. Love you, Mom. Jack did not want to say goodbye to W. In person. He was going to leave quietly without Weiss' knowledge, But Wei had already found out the last moment. He came out of the house, he took out his favorite convertible, and gave it to Jia. Although he was sad to leave, but he could only watch him leave. After returning home, Mom picked up Wei's lit sweater and tears instantly fell from her eyes. I can't tell you how much I missed him, and at that time, Jia was also missing them deeply. But on that very day, the orphanage director arrived. The family was shocked when they heard that Jia had been taken away by his parents. The director looked inker alas, because a long time ago Jia's real parents had passed away. So who picked Jia up? This is the most bizarre disappearance case I've ever seen. The police picked up a peanut and put it in a moisture-proof bag, carefully swept the dust from the table, and also forgot to take photos to record half a day of work but no useful clues. After all, the police have never dealt with the case of missing rats. Yu and his wife never expected the two rats who claimed to be Jack's parents were imposters. Came to the police station. The police told them clearly the chances of finding them were very slim. On the other hand, in order to find his brother, Wei mobilized his relatives to respond to many family revelations, opened the streets in the hope of finding his brother. And the couple who abducted Jia also found their conscience told Jia the truth. It turns out that all this is a conspiracy of Da Bai in order to avenue his own face. Da Bai threatened the lives of two rats, forced them to disguise as Jia's parents to take him away from home. Knowing the truth, Jia never expected it was all a conspiracy, couldn't wait to get home and tell his parents everything. So Jia drove the car that Wei gave him and sped off. At these cats, he heard that Jia had become the owner of the cats. They were waiting for him here. As soon as Jia stopped the car, a wildcat came up to him, and then another one came along. Jia instantly fell into a siege. Luckily he reacted quickly drive away, so a foot of gas directly into the where then he fought his way up the drain. He returned to the home he had longed for. Just as he arrived, Wei's family was just leaving the house. They were going to post a book search notice. Only Da Bai was left at home. Da Bai told Jia he had been abandoned by Wei's family long ago. They never treated him a real child and dug him up. The photos are the proof. Jia didn't believe it at first, but after seeing the photos, he couldn't refute them. He was discouraged and turned to leave. Before leaving, he looked at the house with reluctance. Looking at the distant Jia, Great White suddenly felt that he seemed to have gone too far at this time. The cats outside were chasing Jia now. He ran out of the house, is not like throwing himself into the net. Waiting for this, Great White chased after him and found Jia to remind him to run away. But it was already too late. All the wild cats were surrounding him. Critica moment, Da Bai had to pick up Jia and run wild. The wild cats behind him were in hot pursuit. Da Bai could only climb higher and higher. He often communicate with the wild cats, hope they can leave Jia alone, cancel this operation. But the cats had been hungry for a long time. How can they easily give up the meat that is in their mouths? In order to distract the cat's attention, Jack fell directly on the tree branch. As a result, the next second all the wild cats pounced on. Well, I think it's almost done, haha. A little more vigorous. Hey, we've got him. We're almost there. The branch is about to break. At that moment, the Great White suddenly came over, determined to break the branch with one foot. The leopards were too late to dodge and all fell into the water. In this way, Great White and Jia teamed up, finally got rid of the pursuers. Safe back home. Daddy, it's me. You've forgotten I'm back. Wei's eyes widened when he heard the voice. After a painful separation, the family was finally reunited again. The story also draws to a successful conclusion. The whole film is full of warmth between family members. One can't help but feel that as long as family is around, every day is a beautiful life.